It's the November show for Cousins Cooling and Heating on the Queensway in Simcoe, and I'm with the owner, Craig. Um, so, we've talked about everything, and one of the things that came up a few years ago, and I really wanted to, I know that you have a background in this, and I thought you could help me address this, was air quality in the home. Like it's one of those things where, it seems like, somebody in the family's sick. You're like, oh, you must have brought it in. But then I started understanding a bit more about this. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the home. And I know with you guys installing HVACs and all that, you got to be super aware, right, of the scenarios that you're using. And you don't want people getting ill, but talk a little bit about air quality. And is it, I got to ask this too, because our homes just too tight now? Like, do
Yes.
homes need to breathe?
Yes, absolutely. So again, first, always thank you so much for having me, Dave. It's always a pleasure to be here. So thank you very much. Yes, that is, you are absolutely correct. Homes today are built almost too good. And as we do renovations to our homes, even older homes, we make them equally as too good, because we're putting in better windows, better doors, better insulation, better roofing, all these things, which is incredible and helps with the efficiency of our home. But from an HVAC standpoint, this is where we come in and we see some very serious concerns about the indoor air quality. It wasn't that long ago that every year I take an indoor air quality course to stay on top of things and what's new products are available, as well as what are we seeing in our homes today and what's happening specifically within North America. And some of the statistics that are mind blowing, because the perception that I've had for years is exactly what you said, Dave, is that, oh, I got cold. Well, that's because my sister was here last week and she had a cold. So she
Right.
brought it in the house. According to the state of Massachusetts, as an example, a study was done, and 50% of all illnesses are caused from poor indoor air quality
In the home.
in the home. 50%
Really?
of all illnesses, according to a study done by the state of Massachusetts, are due to poor indoor air quality throughout the home. Some of these things are staggering, and indoor air quality, you can spend a ton of money on it, but it's not necessary. And that's why I wanted to talk about today, to let people know that this is a major concern for all of us, our health, our parents, ourselves, our kids, and generations coming up. But also that not every home needs to have a $5,000 air cleaner to meet your needs. There is other options out there that are available, specifically because each home is different. In my home, I'm like you, Dave. We're big animal lovers. We have lots of pets. So we create that environment in our home ourselves because of what we allow in. But with that, we need to be mindful of this. According to another study done through the North American Health Society, the average human being takes between 20 to 22,000 breaths a day. 9 out of 10 of those breaths are taken indoors, inside some building, some facility, some home, somewhere. So we are surrounded by constant toxins and pollutants that we don't realize. This is where the older style homes allowed fresh air. They allowed the home to breathe so we could exhaust the negative and help the fresh come in and find a balance. Um, you
I
know,
didn't realize that. Like, I'm an outdoor guy. I hope my numbers are a little bit lower on that, but that's incredible. Like,
it's,
you're taking that many breaths in a day and that
yep.
many inside. That's not healthy for anyone.
No, and the study continues to go on, and it talks about how doctors and scientists have been able to not only prove but validate that what we inhale has an immediate and direct effect on such things such as our appetite, our digestion, our irritability, anxiety, sleep. By adjusting what we are living in, the surroundings we're breathing in every day, it can help change some of these factors. I know for myself, when we put in an ERV, an energy recovery ventilator, to help ventilate my family, we didn't see a big result until we started sleeping better. And we noticed, because what I have is my system throughout the night, it exchanges air. So while we're sleeping, we're getting fresh oxygen coming. So if you sleep with
Oh,
your
okay.
doors open or your doors closed, it doesn't matter. This allows, while you're sleeping, fresh oxygen to come in the home, stale oxygen to move out, and away we go. There's argument, pardon me, that between 20 to 25% of people that snore are actually snoring because they are, quote, yawning while in their sleep. They're not naturally snoring. They snore because their body is starving for actual oxygen. And when we are awake, we are polite. So when we're starving for oxygen, we quietly do this. When we are asleep, our body is trying to keep us in a vegetative state to recover. So we just, and we're gasping for that air. By simply having fresh air in the home, you can help, and studies say up to 20%, we can reduce even people having snoring because we're giving them that fresh oxygen their body is simply looking for.
I want to ask, and I know this, I know the answer already, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So I know my wife was at work the other day and they turned the heat on. And the next day, my son works with her. He was homesick. Like there's those, and that's, maybe it was something else, but I mean, you're always like, oh yeah, like I hope they check the filters. I hope they, did all those little things, because if the ductwork's super dirty, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been
just pushing out that.
Yep.
Those spores or whatever it may be that's growing in there.
Exactly. And that's exactly it, Dave. It's, and then even to take it a step further, it's the responsibility of guys like myself and companies like ours to make sure that we use the right tools and materials to properly clean and certify that. Statistics tell us, now I'm talking specifically North America, okay, Canada, United States. Currently today, there is on average 72,000 commercial chemicals that are being manufactured every day in North America.
Okay.
Statistics tell us that 1 out of every 3 houses has 62,000 of those chemicals in their homes right now.
62,000 of those chemicals?
62,000. 72,000 are mass produced. 62,000 are in the average home. 1 out of every 3 homes has up to 62,000 of those chemicals in their home and don't even realize it. There is cleaning products today that we are using that are very, very commonly used and are mass produced and sold everywhere. In fact, I'd be really shocked if I talked to any of my friends or family or colleagues that they didn't have them in their home. And now I'm specifically talking about clothing stuff here, cleaning stuff. 50% of one of those cleaning products that is the number one sold in North America is pesticides that we are no longer allowed to use as farmers on our produce. But they are allowed to sell it, and we use it in our cleaning products, and now it's on my shirt. And now I'm absorbing it through my skin as well as I'm breathing it in every day, but it smells nice. And these things are mind-blowing, and they're so blatant. They're right there in front of us. In fact, you go to the next step where the way that they market these products is by telling you the truth. This masks odors. Buy it.
Right, yeah.
But the mold,
odor's still there. It's still doing the bad stuff.
Still there, and they're still thriving, and you're still breathing that in. And on top of that, now you're breathing in one of those 62,000 chemicals to mask it as well, too. With the massive increases of people that have never smoked that have lung cancer, with the increases of other illnesses that are happening at rapid rates, and it's a combination of things. It's not just us using these chemicals in new ways. It's the fact that our houses are so tight, getting back to that it can't breathe, so they can't escape. And then we're bringing these new things into the home. And this is where indoor air quality has been brought to the forefront ever since COVID. Of course, COVID really helped push it up there, But, an interesting fact was there's a couple specific brands that, you couldn't buy their cleaning products anywhere because people were just buying them at a rapid state, and then you were cleaning everything and wiping down your desk and you're wiping your groceries. Some people went that far. The interesting thing was COVID, very, very publicly, it was known it was an airborne disease. So it didn't matter that you wiped that counter down with whatever that cleaning product was, because now you're inhaling potentially that illness plus the VOCs that are coming off that chemical that you just wiped the house down and now have coated the house in. Right?
When you mentioned about in your home, the air exchange, does that, let's talk about that for just for a second. So it doesn't remove the bacteria or the odors or whatever, but it does clear them out, does it not?
Yes, sir. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So the whole point of an air exchanger, which are typically called an HRV, a heat recovery ventilator, or an ERV, an energy recovery ventilator. There's 2 different styles, and they're meant for 2 different purposes, whatever your home may need. But that's exactly what they do. They're designed to exhale stale air or chemicals or anything like that, and bring in fresh air from outside and blow that in the home and work it through with your furnace, blow it throughout the entire home. And that's
Okay.
where, again, my family has seen a real significant benefit to simply sleeping. Um, the thing with indoor air quality as well too, to anybody, whether you purchase a product from myself or Canadian Tire or from another contractor here, you know how it's working when you don't have the issue. So for example, after I installed this unit, my wife goes, this is great, honey, you spent all this money, but I don't think we're really seeing any results. I said, well, have you woken up throughout the night the last couple of weeks? No. Well, no news is good news. That's how
Yeah.
you know it's working.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is with indoor air quality. You don't get, the immediate instant gratification of, oh, this is fixed, it's done. It's something that takes time, and then it needs to continue to do that to maintain that effect within your home and for safety for yourselves.
Is there any type of test you can run? Like
So
if you go into a home.
yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I'm working right now on getting a system that, yes, it is a very expensive system. So I'm just preparing myself to spend all those big dollars. But there is a system that I'm working on getting where, yes, I'll be able to come into a home, I'll be able to set up a device, I'll be able to go and talk to you about your home, your needs, and within 15 to 25 minutes, it'll give me a report of your home, goods, bads, and indifference of it. And this
Really?
is something, yes, and very
That's
few
cool.
contractors have this simply because of the cost. The device itself is around $5,000.
Oh, wow.
So it's not a tool that I can just go buy and then change the batteries in and away I go, like a power drill or something like that, and keep getting. This is a very expensive digital device with sensors that has to be recalibrated. It's a long-term investment is what it is, but I do feel there's a lot of value, and I'm just preparing our company to have that to offer. But there is other companies that offer as well too. I mean, obviously, I would love if consumers were interested in something like this, that they call us, but there is other good, reputable contractors that have devices as well too. But the average home, even if you have no pets at all, statistics tell us you have 62,000 out of the 72,000 chemicals being produced in North America in your home right now. So just from a chemical standpoint alone of inhalation is something that we need to be aware of. And when you add those new windows, new doors, and you seal that house up tighter, and you wonder why are the kids always sick? Why is my
Yeah.
wife always having, this cough that's been,
Well,
it doesn't
yeah,
get worse, but it doesn't get better. And it's been here for 4 months now.
and you just said too, like when COVID was on, like when someone gets sick, you go and clean everything.
Yeah.
Like you literally go and
Yeah.
you're probably,
Right.
this is incredible. I did not know this information. Like I kind of
It,
like you're showing me some information here that's just mind boggling. And I kind of think sometimes I'm like, okay, it's good to leave that window open at night.
well,
Right?
exactly. And it's, there's so many tests that are being adjusted and changed, and what a lot of it's coming down to is these types of factors are affecting us as humans from every angle, from whether it's a child or to whether you're a senior or a mid-adult, and it affects I'll give you a quick one right here. So according to the Learning Disability Association of North America, 12 million children under the age of 18 suffer from learning disabilities, behavior disorders, such as hyperactivity or attention deficit disorder. This is an epidemic in schools today. Behavioral problems have long been linked to exposure to toxic chemicals or mold.
Yep.
Like, it's just, these are things that,
That's simple. Yeah.
and as a parent myself, and as you as a parent, we purchase these things with good intention in mind for long-term benefit. What we're not seeing is that short-term is having harsh effects, and by us
Right.
repeating usage, now it's becoming a long-term effect where it's affecting our health. And one of the analogies that they used at this course was, how many people here wear cologne or perfume, and obviously the majority of the whole building put their hands up. It's like, how many people here sometimes will add an extra spritz here or there because they don't smell it themselves anymore. That's because we've become accustomed to it, and our sensories have become so accustomed to it that we've minuted it and moved it aside so that we can focus on the other things in life that we aren't used to. And that's the same with this stuff today. As far as, chemicals and cleaning and all that, we don't understand how powerful they might be. But a neighbor comes over and goes, oh my gosh, The analogy they use is, in my lifetime and in your lifetime, Dave, we're of the generation where it was very normal to smoke in your house
Yeah.
constantly, and people would
Yeah.
just show up and light up in your home and think nothing of it because that was the norm. Well,
Right.
now when you walk into somebody's house that smokes, you can smell
You
that
know
right
it.
away as somebody
Yeah.
that's not here. That's the same with these chemicals today, but because you live in there, you don't notice it, just like a smoker doesn't notice it. And those are the analogies that they like to give us. And it's simply to try and let people know that it's okay to use these, but in the right manner, in the right time. And there is a very, very strong link to this information and things such as Alzheimer's, ADHD in children, cancers. It's all prolonged in
Yeah.
people here. And the irony was at the end of this wonderful seminar and explaining all these details, just like I explained very few to you, but they explained a lot, was she then asked how many people here smoke or used to smoke and quit. And a lot of people put their hands up. And she goes, based on everything I just shared with you, you're healthier to go back to smoking.
Wow. Oh my
Because
goodness.
statistics tell
Yeah.
us that
Yeah.
your home has a higher potential. Now, not every home, right? But statistics tell us that your home has a higher potential of being more harmful to you than smoking those 4 or 5 cigarettes do in a day.
The other part too I get out of this is just go outside more, folks. Like,
Yes,
just enjoy the outdoors, because I think
absolutely.
that's the equilibrium for the balance. And when you brought that up too, the other part I see a lot now is, and you don't know what chemicals, but they'll say odorless.
Mhm.
Chemicals are still there. It's
That's
just
right.
that product, you might not smell it now. So
Exactly.
there is something to be said for environmentally friendly products for sure.
Yep.
I know that's a big
Yep.
thing with my wife and my daughter at this location at our home. And you kind of begin to understand and appreciate that. I mean, we've been down this road with food. We've gone through all these cycles trying to make our lives better,
Mhm.
and the home is just something else. It's such a big part of where we are, right? For so much of our time. And I
Absolutely.
liked it. I know you didn't, and you weren't even plugging it, but we talked about the air circulation system in homes. That's critical. It's
Yes,
downright critical, especially if you got a home that's so sealed up. You got to get that air moving.
it is especially for everybody's health. One last thing on this before there's something else I'd like to bring up
Sure.
is I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up to people that are listening. There's devices that we plug into receptacles that give us nice smells throughout the home.
Right.
As a parent, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that that package of the chemicals that are in there that are giving us that odor, if you pop that and get it on your skin, you have less than 3 minutes to get it off, or minimum, you will have a second-degree burn. I bring this up because there's a lot of young children out there. Typically, receptacles are at waist height or below, so they can get access to them. Heaven forbid if one ever grabbed one and put it in their mouth, the
Right.
blisters in that would be, so just please, folks, this is, as a parent myself, I'm very mindful of this for my kids. And yes, my kids are a little bit older and old enough to know better, but we all still make silly
And
choices. So be
pets
safe.
too. And pets
Pets,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Pets
for sure.
too. Yeah.
Hey, I got to ask you about Random Act of Kindness. What's going on there?
Yes. Yeah. No, thank you for asking. We're really excited this year. So what we've decided is $50 from every install for the month of October is going to the Alzheimer's Society. We
Man, that's
feel this
excellent.
is a very, organization that could really use the help. The funding isn't that great. It is a known organization, but they just don't get a lot of the funding to help with these things. So every install for the month of October, and I want to re-say that one more time, every install. So I don't care if it's a water heater, if it's a thermostat, if it's a new furnace, an air conditioner, a heat pump, HRV, whatever it is, we are putting $50 from every single install. We'll be dropping off a check as a team here at Cousins Cooling Heating to the Alzheimer's Society in Simcoe.
And that's great. That's at Hazel's Place. My good friend John Race, late John Race, was instrumental in doing a lot for Alzheimer's. His wife had struggled.
Yes.
And yeah, stop up to Hazel's Place. Make it, even if you don't get a new piece from Craig there, make a donation. Great cause, wonderful cause. Love that you guys are
Absolutely.
doing that.
Thank you, Dave. Thank
So
you.
$50 for the month of
$50
October.
from every install, and I look forward to seeing you in the December show. And I'll have the grand total then, the tally. You can also look at our social media page, and you'll see, the actual presentation when we're there. No strings attached. We just show up, shake their hands, and hand over the check and wish them the best.
Cousins.ca, correct?
Yes, sir.
and you're on the Queensway. So, folks, if you're around, stop in, say hi to Craig and Deb, and help out. It's a great cause, and thanks for doing this. You guys do this every year, and it's so cool to see when a business can give back, right? I mean, that's as a businessman, business person, you're part of the community, and you want to be part of that. Help solve the problems. And great
Absolutely.
information today too. Like I actually think I'm going to talk to you a bit more about this next month because I did not realize. I want to do some research myself. It's 62,000 chemicals.
62,000. And it's become so abundant today that society has become such the norm that we don't even realize it.
No, we don't.
It's so the big thing is, and what I'd like to get across here to people is I'm hoping to bring this to your attention, because just stay safe and know that we're all in the same boat. It's not like one home is worse than the other or the other. This is what our society has developed for reasons, and understandably there is a need, so we found that need. But be safe. That's it. Just be safe, because the way that it's going on today, it's unintentionally, safety has become a real concern, and it is showing, long-term, short-term effects in the home are creating long-term health effects for us as humans, and we're all in the same boat. So we're all on the same team here, folks.
Great info today, Craig. Thanks for doing this. Take care, eh?
Always a pleasure, Dave. Thank you so much always for having us. All the best.